Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Box Score Network NFL preview show, talking about Week 11 NFL action here. Look at that, Ben starting us off with a beautifully made, handmade sign. Ben, your 5-year-old made that for you, right?
I made that, man. Come
Oh,
on.
yeah,
Spread
yeah.
the love, brother.
Are we live?
It
Are
was
we
so
are
good,
we
I
live?
thought it was stenciled, actually.
Thank you, Austin. My man.
Well, as Ben so beautifully put it, we are all back in the building. We are very excited because we are still kicking it with the Four Horsemen. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we all did well with our picks last week. But before we get into our picks, before we get into our bets, let's hit our game of the week. And of course, it is Chiefs at Bills. The undefeated Chiefs take on the second place AFC, but AFC East leading Buffalo Bills, 4:25 p.m. on Sunday. The Bills are favored by 2 at home. Ben, let's kick it to you, man. What are you looking for first in this one?
I figure it's going to be a little bit under. I like the Chiefs here, 24-20. That's my pick. So many of these games here are fun to watch and they are tight, but the Chiefs tend to get more of their fair share. Good Bills defense, not dominant. I figure the Chiefs can score points here, and a very good Chiefs defense that I feel like can limit a Josh Allen led offense that has slowed down just a little bit the past 2 to 3 weeks, not looking quite as crisp as maybe they did a month and a half ago. So I'm expecting a very good game. Either team can win here, but give me the Chiefs in a tight one right here.
Austin, how are you feeling about this one?
I've got to go Bills, and honestly, it's because I think the Chiefs have to lose. Oh, I went super dark. There we go. Uh, the Chiefs have to lose at some point, and looking at the rest of their schedule, there's not really a loss on there. There's a couple teams that could potentially put up a fight. There's a lot of easy games down the stretch for the Chiefs, and it would be insane for them to go undefeated with this version of the Chiefs to go undefeated. So they have to lose at some point. I'm picking it to be this week.
Yeah, when it comes to those like anecdotal things, I always feel like it's the game you don't expect. So like watch, they're gonna beat the Bills this week, but they'll lose to the Panthers next
Yeah.
week in week 12. It's gonna be something really silly. Parker, how are you feeling about this one?
So me and Ben had a good talk about this last week. It's just one of those things where I asked him who would the Chiefs have to play to pick against them, and the only answer I could come up with is the Detroit Lions. That being said, I got to pick the Chiefs. And Austin touching on, this version of the Chiefs possibly going undefeated because I looked at the schedule and I think the Steelers and the Chargers are the only two teams really standing in their way. And I think the Chiefs can win both those games too, besides the Bills this week. So that being said, is like Andy Reid's damn good. Like that's another reason why I'm picking the Chiefs in this game is Andy Reid has got it going on. So it's pretty simple for me. Chiefs until they can prove me wrong, you know.
Yeah, so that's our first solo pick there by Austin because I'm also going with the Chiefs with the Austin picking the Bills. We are less than 42% collectively on average on our solo picks through 10 weeks. So keep that in mind as we make these picks. But on the other hand, we are over 72% when we are all together on a bet. So the four horsemen still ride, and the solo picks are not doing so well. What I'm looking for in this game, Chiefs Bills. So obviously, when this rivalry really got started 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever it was now, everything was high flying, right? Big numbers, passing the ball, going crazy. Both these teams, it's just like all of us, man. Me and Ben can attest as we get a little older, we start slowing down. We want to muck it up. We want to ground and pound. Don't try to move too much. That's what these two teams want to do, man. They want to play ugly now. The Bills are running the ball. The Chiefs are playing with deep winning with defense. Um, but here's the key stat I'm looking at. The Bills are fourth in the league in just number of runs on first down, and they're really good at it. They're fourth in EPA on those runs on first down. On the other hand, though, the Chiefs are seventh in EPA allowed on defense against the run. So the Chiefs are built to and have executed run defense on first down, and that's what the Bills like to do. That's what sets them up. If the Bills have to go back, if they get behind the sticks, if they have to go back to kind of spread and shred, or trying to pass the ball on first down, I think they're going to get behind what they want to do, get behind their game script. And the Chiefs, on the other hand, they do everything on first down, but they're super efficient on third down. They are they're first in total EPA on third down on offense, second through the air, third on the ground. So super balanced. But the Bills are 26th in EPA allowed on third down defensively. So the Bills are not good on defense on third down. The Chiefs are very good on third down on offense. And then the Chiefs are good at what the Bills want to do on first down on the other end. So this is building up for the Bills to be behind their game script, be behind the sticks, and then Patrick Mahomes to just make magic on third down. When you put all those things together, I agree with Austin. Like this is their toughest matchup. They got to lose at some point, but I think these things really favor the Chiefs. So I'm leaning Kansas City in this one. Anybody else have anything else on our game of the week? Ben?
Yeah, a couple of last quick thoughts here. Even stepping away from the analytics for just a minute, just looking at personnel, I feel like this Chiefs secondary does match up athletically very well against this particular group of Bills receivers that they're going to be trotting out for this game. But if I was going to pick a week for the Chiefs to lose, it would be this one, man, because they kind of keep winning in all these weird ways. And you're like, man, they're just due for a loss. So even though I'm picking the Chiefs and I analytically like the Chiefs, Chiefs are due for a loss as well. So I can see the flip side of this thing.
Yeah, Keon Coleman is out of on this game for the Bills, and Amari Cooper is currently questionable. Dalton Kincaid is also out. That came up middle of the week here. So the Bills are going to be without some of their top weapons offensively. Let's get into our picks, everybody. So as I mentioned, when we're all together, we are over 70%. When there's a solo pick, we're under 43%. Ben is still in the lead at 94 and 47. Austin is in second at 92 and 49. I'm closing in though finally at third at 88 and 53, and Parker is in fourth at 84 and 57. So let's get to our first game here. Sunday 1 p.m. slate. Let's start with Packers at Bears. Green Bay is favored by 5.5 after Chicago fired offense coordinator Shane Waldron. Parker, let's start with you, man. What do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers here. Like big Matt LaFleur game. I think this is just it's that simple for me. I mean, I could sit here and tell you everything else I need to tell you, but I feel like that's just the main point for why I'm taking Packers here.
Austin,
Yeah, I'm going Packers as well.
Ben.
I want this game to be close and fun and enjoyable, but I just don't see how it can be. Packers have the heavy coaching advantage, like Parker already said. Packers feeling pretty good about themselves, and the Bears are in a nosedive. So, what else would you expect? Give me the Packers all the way.
Yeah, let's lock it in. Four horsemen there. Everyone's going Packers. The Bears continue to struggle. Next game here. Jags at Lions. The Lions are favored by 13.5. Still no Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars. Mac Jones will once again start. Austin, what do you have for this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is no contest. It's the Lions.
Are we seeing why maybe four horsemen works really well? Is it just like the NFL's really kind of obvious sometimes, and a lot easier than we make it out to be? Ben, what do you got here?
This is a bully beatdown to me. It's in Detroit. Detroit's one of the best teams in the league. Even if Trevor Lawrence were out here, I still figured the Lions could just run away with this game because the Jaguars' defense is so terrible. So, Lions by a lot here, man.
Parker.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions here as well. It's very simple. I mean, they're favored by 2 touchdowns. Like, I would love to know the record on teams favored by more than, 12 points on just winning football games. I bet it's a lot to a little. So I'd be stupid to go the other way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lions as well. Nothing that the Jags can do, even when things are going well, is making me worried for Detroit. Next game here, Vikings at Titans. The Vikings are favored by 6 on the road. Ben, what do you got here?
This game might be tight for a while. Titans defense has times where it can be very good and other times where it lets loose. By the end, though, man, Vikings just have too much going on here. I know Sam Darnold had a couple of weeks hiccups, but they were better opponents than this by a long shot. So give me the Vikings here fairly easily by the time the game's over.
Parker.
Yeah. Same here. It's very, very easy. I feel like these, well, not these first two, but I feel like this week there's like 4 or 5 that are just pretty plain and simple. And there's a couple tough ones, but this one's one of the easy ones for me.
Austin.
Yeah, you're definitely right about there being quite a few easy ones, and this is one of them.
Yeah, let's not get too concerned about the way the Vikings game went last week. Titans are a different team. I think the defense is going to do what it needs to do and make this pretty comfortable. Vikings as well. We have the Raiders and the Dolphins next. Miami is favored by 7 at home. Austin, let's kick it to you first.
Yeah, this one's going to be the Dolphins to me. They're looking much better since, they got their kind of squad back together, so I'm expecting them to roll.
Ben?
Yeah, Dolphins a real team. Haven't even totally hit their full stride yet, but they look back to just, closer to what we all expected. And then the Raiders, man, a year ago, the energy in the building was so, so high. And then it's just like, the energy in the building is back down again, and you're back to the roster talent problems. So give me the Dolphins here walking away on this one.
Parker?
Yeah, I agree with Ben a lot there with just the fact that the emotion in Las Vegas has hit rock bottom. It's just it's not great there. And on the other side of the ball, like they're working up, kind of like Austin said, they're getting somewhat of the squad back together and it's looking a little more normal. So I got to take Dolphins and they're at home. It gives it just another nudge for me to why I should take them.
Yeah, Dolphins for me too. They're starting to get on a roll a little bit. Raiders don't really, again, no, they don't have a thing, a secret weapon that poses a threat really. So Dolphins as well. Rams at Patriots. The Rams are favored by 4.5. The Rams could be without Rob Havenstein, who is officially ruled out, and Joe Noteboom, who is doubtful. And those are the only guys that have played at right tackle for them. But they're still favored by 4.5 against the Patriots on the road. Ben, what do you got here?
I figure this is a very tight game. I'm going to pick the Rams to win because they are better, but Patriots have shown the ability to move the ball yardage wise. We saw this Rams offensive line struggle against the Dolphins and their defensive line. So give me, and listen, Rams having to come all the way across country here. So give me the Rams in a very tight.
Parker?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams here too. I think it's the Patriots have shown us that yeah, they're a good football team. They can win a couple football games, and they've been one of my spoilers this year and a few of my picks. But I'm going to take the Rams here pretty confidently.
Austin?
I love picking the Patriots. I wish I could do it this week, but I
Mhm.
can't, unfortunately. The Rams are in a tough division out there, and they've got to get it done this week. This is like a must-win game for them. I know they think every game's a must-win game, but I think they know that this one matters a lot.
There was a lot of fluky stuff when the Rams lost to the Dolphins last week in prime time. There, the high snap and just kind of miscommunication on the offensive end with Jonah Jackson coming back in, really playing center for them for the first time. So I think they're going to have a lot of that stuff cleaned up here against a team that is fun and frisky, but still certainly flawed. So give me the Rams as well. So we have a bunch of four horsemen there, 5 games in a row. We'll see how that works out for us this week. All right, here's where it gets sloppy, everybody. This is, I think, the worst game of the week. We have the Browns at the
Mhm.
Saints. The Browns are favored by 1. Parker, what do you got here?
All right, so number one, this is you know, I just don't know if the Saints have done me bad last 2 weeks. Like they lost to the Panthers. They somehow did what they did last week, and then now they're playing the Browns. I just think this is a place where the Browns can win. They're favored by half a point. I need it for the rankings for my my record in this thing. So hopefully they can hit for me.
Ben.
So this is my most worthless, nobody gives a flying rip, most irrelevant game of the week. I mean, really, who cares
Yes.
about these two teams? Yeah, I mean, come on. Had that been said, maybe my 1 o'clock slot might be the one I get. Give me the Saints here. Big key, Eric McCoy coming back to play center for them. Last we heard, so that could be a huge deal for them, and what I expect to be a tight, fairly low scoring game.
Austin.
Man, I want a Jameis Winston revenge game here.
Hmm.
I'm pulling for it, but I just cannot, in good conscience, bet on it. So I'm going Saints.
Yeah, tried to look for a Browns angle to be completely honest as well, but I think Ben said it. Eric McCoy coming back, that was such a big loss for the Saints early in the year. That really changed a lot of what they did from a run game aspect. And I think that extra element to their offense is going to be the separator between these 4 units that have all kind of been underwhelming so far this year. So give me the Saints as well. All right. Finally, a good game in the 1 o'clock slate. We have Ravens at Steelers. The Ravens are favored by 3.5 on the road. No Alex Highsmith for Pittsburgh, but Kyle Hamilton should be good to go for Baltimore on the other side. Ben, what do you got here?
So I'm picking the Steelers in this game. Tight matchup. I do not expect either team to run away with this. I don't feel like Mike Tomlin is going to let Derrick Henry just cruise in the running game. He's going to try his best to shut that down and force Lamar to beat them through the air. Steelers have the defense that is capable of doing that. And we've seen this Ravens team, even though they've got that Super Bowl muscle to them, they're also wildly inconsistent. The defense has not been good at stopping the passing game, and it's in Pittsburgh. So, win a tight one, give me the Steelers.
Austin.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to force Russell Wilson to beat them. And I just don't think he can. I know he's had quite a bit of resurgence in Pittsburgh, but I just don't think he can overcome what will need to be done to keep up with the Ravens because the Ravens are going to be able to put up points. It's going to be tougher than it has been for most of the season for them, but they are going to be able to do it. And I don't know if Russ can keep up. So I'm taking the Ravens.
Parker.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens as well. I mean, the Steelers are great. Defense is great. Mike Tomlin's doing a great job. Simon will attest they're doing much better than anyone would have ever guessed this far into the season with the quarterbacks they've been given. Who would have thought they both do great this far into the season as well and both get play time? But Lamar Jackson, dude, he's like tied for first in passing touchdowns. He only has 2 interceptions on the season. I think he's 44th in picks. I mean, he's got 2,600 yards or something like that this far into the season. Like he's just playing great. Like even if Derrick Henry shut down, I think Lamar Jackson can win this football game. Very mobile, doing well with his feet, like scoring a lot of points. I got to take the Ravens this one.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go Steelers. This is
Mhm.
gonna be a close game. These are always close games. I mean, the whole AFC North is, but Ravens, Steelers especially, it's gonna get gritty. It's gonna get kind of nasty, and it's probably gonna get a little weird at some point. Couple key tiebreakers here. If this is gonna be a close game, and the Ravens' pass defense is gonna be what it's been this year, Russ is going. I think he's gonna probably have a pretty inefficient game, get sacked a couple times. But he's going to hit a couple of these deep shots. And against this Ravens defense, that might be all that's required. And special teams. A lot of times these AFC North games, especially Steelers Ravens, comes down to special teams. Baltimore is usually always elite in that category. This year, they're 19th in total special teams DVOA, so that takes that into account. Um, the kicking game, which is obviously not the strength as it once was, as well as just all the coverages and all the phases. And Pittsburgh is one of the best special teams units in the league this year. So I think this is going to come down to a weird special teams play, a couple more moon balls, and then, like Ben said, if they can just keep Derrick Henry kind of under wraps, and he hasn't been the most efficient the last couple of weeks, I think they'll develop a game plan for it. So I'm going to go Steelers. So we're going to be evenly split there. Ben and I on these splits, let's see, versus Austin and Parker, are 4-3 to 3-4. So we will. Oh wait, did I say that right? Yep, 4-3 in favor of me and Ben, to 3-4 on Austin and Parker. So we will
Right.
see how that goes. All right, last game of the 1 o'clock slate: Colts at Jets. The Jets are favored by 4. Anthony Richardson is back at quarterback for the Colts. Ben, what do you got here?
So whoever loses this game, their ship just keeps on sinking, right? But whoever wins, it's coming out with a whole bunch of fresh air and a sprinkle of hope. So this game does matter, even though both teams enter with losing records here. Give me the Jets in a tight one. I actually picked the Colts earlier in the week, so I've been back and forth. But give me the Jets at home, still with a good defense. I figure Aaron Rodgers can pass the ball against this Colts secondary.
Austin.
This is a big game for the Colts. They have a pretty easy schedule the rest of the season. We talked about this a lot earlier in the week. So this is an important game for them to win because they have a chance of a playoff run, and I think they're going to get the job done. I'm following a trend here. Former top 5 quarterbacks taken in last year's draft who have been benched and then started again are 1-0 this year on their first game back. So I'm just going to follow the trend. You know, trends are a trend for a reason. So there we go.
I love
Now,
it.
Parker.
I got to take the Jets, man. It's very simple. The only thing that kills me, dude, is that Anthony Richardson's playing. Like the dude's completion percentage is god awful. It's like less. I think it's like less than 50%, if I'm not mistaken. It's terrible, and that's the one thing that just drives me up the wall. So I can't take a quarterback like that, and I can't take the Colts. I got to take the Jets.
I will be taking the Colts because, like Parker said, the passing efficiency isn't great when Anthony Richardson is at quarterback, but the run game for the Colts is very good when Richardson is in there, and that makes life hard on the defense, not knowing if you're getting Jonathan Taylor or Anthony Richardson on a run, and the Jets' run defense this year has not been what it has been in years past. So give me the Colts to win in this one. And in terms of these pairings, if you're wondering, me and Austin versus Ben and Parker, it's 50-50, 4-4 in these matchups. So we'll break a tie here one way or another. Into the afternoon slate, Sunday 4:25, Falcons at Broncos. Denver is favored by 2.5. Parker, what do you got here?
So I am going to take the Falcons. I think that the Falcons are a little better than they may have showed the last couple of weeks. Broncos defense is great, playing awesome, but I'm just going to take the Falcons offensive talent over this Broncos offensive talent because the Falcons defense has played much better as of recent as well.
Ben?
The Falcons to me are the better team, but they're also inconsistent. Broncos at home. Broncos with one of the best 3-4 defenses in football. I mean, it's a really good defense, almost any way you package it. And the Falcons have done a lot better when they can pass over the middle against teams whose linebackers struggle to stop that. Denver can clear up a lot of that. So give me Denver in a tight one, but this was a really tight one for me.
Austin?
I've flip-flopped on this game several times. As of now, and this could change, but as of now, I'm on the Falcons. I think their firepower is just enough in terms of the amount of weapons they have. Uh, with London, Pitts, and Darnell Mooney has looked awesome this year. So and then Bijan Robinson out of the backfield. So I think they have just enough weapons to overcome what this Broncos defense can handle. I do get a little bit nervous with the Falcons defense, though.
I'm going to be taking the Broncos in this one. Kirk Cousins has been playing really, really well. He's gotten better, I think, and more comfortable every single week. That said, he's still not doing his patented play action game. He's not moving around a lot, and the Broncos blitz more than just about anybody in the NFL at this point. And I think they're going to be coming after him a good bit here, and I think they're going to be able to muck this game up. And their offense has been getting better each week. So I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I think it's going to be a good one. But I think that Broncos defense is going to make the plays it needs to win this one. Next up, we have Seahawks at 49ers. San Francisco is favored by 6.5. Seattle will have a new center in this game after Connor Williams retired midweek. And San Francisco has Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, and George Kittle all as questionable on the injury reports. We'll see if any of those guys are limited or do end up not playing. But Ben, what do you got in this one?
Give me the 49ers here. 49ers still haven't showed us what they can really truly be this year. We haven't seen that. But Christian McCaffrey should be backer than he was last week. I expect him to be able to run the football and catch the football off this Seattle defense. 49ers at home and the better team. So give me the 49ers.
Austin.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners as well, pretty much for every reason Ben stated.
Parker.
Yeah, the center midweek thing, I read that yesterday and I was like, yeah, there's no way the Seahawks win this football game. So got to pick the Niners.
I will say Oluwatimi from Michigan. I've been waiting for him to start for the Seahawks for 2 years, but I don't think he's going to make a whole world difference here. The 49ers have the Seahawks numbered no matter who is the coach or quarterback. What do you got, Parker?
You're asking a rookie to just like touch the ball every play. Like that is so scary playing the 49ers. That is like, I know that he was really good and I know that he probably has the countdown, everything, but like division game and you have to touch the ball every play and get it right every time. Like that's not easy, you know?
Nope. That all said, 49ers. Yes. All right, we did Chiefs Bills already, so let's hit the Sunday night game. Bengals at Chargers. Chargers are favored by 1.5. Orlando Brown is questionable to play this game for the Bengals once again, so Cody Ford might be in line for another start. Parker, what do you got here?
Uh, Joe Burrow, if he just keeps doing what he's doing, the wins have got to come eventually, right? Like him and Jamar Chase hooking up the way they do, like scoring 30 something points a game and just having a record of like with 3 wins is just so crazy to me. And losing to the Ravens and the Chiefs combined 5 points in 3 games is nuts. They got to beat this Chargers team.
Austin.
Yeah, Vegas has me confused on this one. The line says they think the Chargers are going to win, but the over under being at 48.5 says they think the Bengals are going to win. So I think they're kind of hedging their bet there. And I'm going to choose to listen to the over under. They think it's high scoring, which means I think, I know the Bengals are going to win.
Ben?
I think those guys just put maybe the best nutshell I've heard on any game tonight on this one. I totally agree with everything y'all just put out there. I'm going to pick the Bengals too in a tight one. You kind of have a matchup of styles, right? The Chargers playing the super uber tight, conservative, never ever make a mistake kind of football where you're not really sure how good they are. And then you've got the Bengals who are just throwing the football all over the field with a sucky defense, and I don't really know how good they are. It's a kind of clash, probably a muddy clash. Give me the Bengals in a tight one. Joe Burrow playing as good as anybody not named Lamar Jackson, and he's even statistically close to that.
All right, I'm going Lone Wolf. Give me the Chargers in this one. This is going to be a huge matchup for them, though. This is definitely the best quarterback and best offense they have faced this season, but I think they have the bones of this defense figured out the way they want it. And offensively, they're starting to cook 3 games over, I think, 24 points here in a row. I think they're starting to feel themselves with the pass game, go back to what they were doing in the run game early in the year against this Bengals run defense. And I think they'll be in good shape. So give me the Chargers in this one. Next up, final game, Monday Night Football, Texans at Cowboys. The Texans are favored by 7. Parker, what do you got?
Texans.
Austin?
Very, very easy.
Yeah, I think I'll choose the Parker method here. Texans.
Ben?
The only way, and by the way, I didn't slap my most funnest game of the week label, but that's Chargers and Bengals, the one we just did. I think that's the fun one. The only way this game is close is if Houston kind of has another muck it up game where they're just not getting anything done, where Micah Parsons, Simon, you even mentioned it before the show, Micah Parsons is kind of going off. So other than that, Texans by a lot.
Yep, I'm going Texans as well. All right, let's get into our bets of the week. Let's see. Austin is in the lead going into week 11 at almost 98 goats worth. I am in second actually at 92. Parker is in third at 89, and Ben with his slow and steady method is currently in last at 84 goats worth. So Austin, how about you kick it off this week?
First of all, disrespectful of you to round Parker down, who's at 89.98 to
Yeah,
89 goats.
whatever.
That was a heck of a
if you
round
got
down.
89 point something, do you got 90 or do you got 89? What do you got?
Okay. I appreciate you rounding me up, though. I know that was.
Yeah, wait, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, what? All right, what you got, Austin?
I'm gonna save my more convoluted one second for viewer retention.
Yeah, thanks.
My first one
Also, my
is
retention.
yeah, my first one is Rams and Chargers. They're two separate games, but I'm expecting the Rams and the Chargers to combine for 4 or more rushing touchdowns. I think the Rams are going to pull some heavy weight on this, getting at least 2, if not a third, against this Patriots team. They'll be up. And then the Chargers will go up against a pretty weak Bengals run defense. So I think they can get at least 1, if not a second themselves. So I like that. It's at plus 250. I'm putting 7.75 goats worth on it. It would pay out 19.38 if it hits.
All right, Ben, what do you got?
I'm going wild this week, man. Instead of betting 7, I'm betting 5. I'm betting 7. All right. So stepping up my game here.
Ben's got to make
I'm
up
using some
ground.
advice that I heard from not one but 2 podcasts earlier in the week. I heard it from Austin first on our show, and then I heard it from somebody else later in the week. Aldrich Estime, young running back from Notre Dame for the Denver Broncos, moving kind of into that lead back role. Should get a lot of touches. Denver loves to run the football, and they're going to need to in this game. So I've got Estime at 60 or more rushing yards. I can get that for plus 120.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. Parker, what do you got?
All right, parlay of the week. This one's very easy. It's only 3 legs, but they're all underdogs. They're all teams that I picked to win this week, and I'm going to take the Bengals at plus 100, the Falcons at plus 110, and the Kansas City Chiefs at plus 110. All 3 of those teams to win, and it's at plus 720. So I'm going to put 10 goats to make 72 goats.
I like that. Parker was more bold than me, adding a couple teams, but I jumped on a bit of that. I took the Chiefs to win as well, plus 110 just on the Chiefs. I'm throwing 10 on that. You can get Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. I think he's 11-3 straight up as an underdog, 12 1-1 against the spread, something like that, and or 12 2-1 in those games. So, um, even if I didn't know, even if I didn't feel as confident that the Chiefs were going to win this game, I mean, just the money value of being able to bet on Patrick Mahomes as an underdog feels pretty substantial. So that's where I'm going with my first bet. Austin, what's your second one?
All right. I'm going to take my time explaining this. Please hold your questions till the end. This is for either team in a game to score three unanswered times. That could be, back to back to back field goals, touchdowns, a mix of two, a safety, just three times in a row where one of the team scores without the other team interrupting it, three in a row. And I'm parlaying four of these together. The Lions Jaguars game. So either team, if they do three in a row there, the Vikings Titans game, the Raiders Dolphins game, and the Texans Cowboys game. And I picked very lopsided games. I'm expecting it to be the Lions, the Vikings, the Dolphins, and the Texans. But if if the other team does it, that's cool too. But yeah, I'm expecting it to be the heavily favored team in these matchups.
And you need each one of those, right? You
I
need all
need all
four.
I need all four games to have a team score three or more times. So that it comes out, it's pretty good. It's plus 439 odds. I'm really confident in this one. I'm putting 15 on it to make 65.
You, you bold people, man. You bold people. Ben, what do you got with your second one?
I love the innovation there from Austin and from Parker as well. And I misspoke before the show. He can win 65, 66 points, not 439, but still, I love that bet. I'm going with another Josh Allen, big passing day. Good Chiefs defense. I'm picking the Chiefs to win, but still, I figure Josh Allen is going to have to be passing the football the entire game. And while the Bills are good at running the football and they like to, I don't know that they're going to be able to do it efficiently enough that Josh Allen isn't going to have a big passing day. So one way or the other, I've got Josh Allen at 275 passing yards or more. While that's a big number, I can get it at plus 240. So putting 7 points on that, plus 240. I like the juice there.
Yeah, not bad. If Kansas City's going to plug up their run, he's going to have to do something as well. All right, Parker, what's your second bet?
All right, I picked a bet for a game I'm not going to watch because it's Ben's no one gives a flying flip game of the week. And I'm going to take the bet of any quarter to end scoreless between the Cleveland Browns and the New Orleans Saints at plus 290. I think that these teams could just get into like a punt off, like in the third or maybe in the second quarter. Maybe there's no point scored in the quarter. So with plus money, plus 290, I'm going to put five goats on it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, 17 of New Orleans' 20 points they had last week came in the second quarter on a
Hmm.
couple of those deep shots. So that's definitely not a bad call. All right, I'm going with an oldie but a goodie here. Going back to the Denver game against Atlanta. Kirk Cousins, as I said, does not like to move around. Nick Bonito is back on his sack streak. He got a sack last week after failing me 2 weeks ago. So I'm going with the over 0.25 sacks for Bonito plus 125. I'm putting 10 goats on that to win 12.5. All right, everybody. That'll do it. Those are our bets. Those were our picks. That was our game of the week. Thank you so much for watching the Box Score Network NFL preview show. Again, make sure you're following everything the network does. So follow us over on Twitter at BScore Network. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel and liking this video. Making sure you're checking out all the individual podcasts on Box Score Network as well. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the games this week. We will talk to you next time.